If you guys ever wonder how I managed to stay up late for Leafs games, it's because it's currently like 10 p.m. at night and I'm heading to bed to sleep for a couple hours before the game starts at midnight. So basically, the Leafs play Boston tonight, midnight puck drop, which is standard for me. But I thought it would be a fun idea to vlog watching the game while I answer you guys' questions. So between Twitter and Instagram, I asked you guys to send in a ton of just random questions, and some of them are definitely random. And I thought I would answer them while I watch the Leafs game, basically like a sort of virtual hangout kind of thing. More casual than my more analysis type videos, but I thought it would be a bit of fun. But first things first, I need to get my nap in so that I'm actually alive for the game. So I'm gonna go sleep for a bit and then I will catch up with you and start talking some random hockey stuff and other life stuff while I watch a Leafs game. That sounds like fun. It sounds like a fun time to me, to be honest. If you follow me on Twitter, then you know that one of my greatest joys while there's a Leafs game on is to pour myself a nice drink and enjoy it. So even though it's a school night, of course I have a drink for this. I thought I needed a drink for this before I start answering a bunch of questions because I just do. It just makes it more fun, you know? So tonight's drink is a strawberry daiquiri. I love these, so let's pour this first. First things first, pour a drink. Okay, cheers. Of course, Alex Steves has just scored. It's currently 3-1 Boston now. We're heading towards the end of the first period, and between Fraser Minton scoring on Saturday night, and now we've got Alex Steves. Is this not just the most on-brand thing for the Leafs that you've ever seen? Okay, so first period just ended, and it's 3-1. And I hate this. I hate this so much. So I did like an anonymous link on Twitter, but I also asked on my Instagram story. I didn't really expect to get many responses on Instagram, but a lot of questions, as always, on how did you get into hockey? How did you become a Toronto Maple Leafs fan? Which, if you've been around for a while, you will know, but I guess some people don't. So I first got into hockey in 2016, specifically in November 2016, so it's coming up to my hockey anniversary. We have a professional league here, the Elite Ice Hockey League, and I was given the opportunity to go for free to see my local team, the Dundee Stars. Just a random, Friday night. Wasn't planning on going. I nearly didn't go because I didn't know anything about hockey at all, and it was just so out of my comfort zone. I really, at that age, wasn't into sports that much in general. I grew up in a very football-loving family, and I love football. I absolutely love football. I really do. But it didn't captivate me the way that hockey does, so as soon as it started, I was like, okay, this is my thing. I have now found my thing. And it's been my entire personality ever since. But very quickly, I was learning everything about the game and looking up so much stuff, and I downloaded the NHL app which, by the way, was much better in 2016 than the app is now, in my opinion. And there's obviously the list of teams when you download the app. And I just had this weird gut instinct where I was like, I need to pick the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, I need to pick them. And I'd love to say that there's some really good logical explanation why. I just had this really strong pull towards them. I'm quite a big believer in gut instincts and in following your instincts and the idea that subconsciously you can know things without really knowing them. And I just always felt like I was only ever meant to cheer for the Leafs. There was never any pull towards any other team, and I've been a diehard fan ever since. So that's how I got into hockey, and that's how I picked the Leafs. And I'm so glad I did because I don't even know what my life would look like now if I hadn't picked the Leafs. If I hadn't got into hockey, if I hadn't picked the Leafs, I genuinely don't know what my life would look like, which is quite a scary thought. So I'm going to timestamp this video because I have a feeling it's going to be a long, chatty one. So if you want to skip to specific questions or topics, I will leave timestamps down below. Feel free to jump around as you wish. Okay, next up, I also got so many questions asking, like, are you moving to Toronto? And a couple of people asking me, when are you moving back to Toronto? Which I've never lived in Toronto. I've never lived in Canada ever. Like, I haven't. So I'm not moving back because I haven't lived there before. I have spent a crazy amount of time out in Ontario over the past few years. I dated someone for a while who lives in southern Ontario. So I used to work a remote job and I would go out and live with him for like, weeks, months at a time. If you've watched my channel for a while, you will know who I'm referencing to. So I have spent a lot of time out there and I've spent long periods of time out there, but it wasn't in Toronto. I just would spend a lot of time there, especially myself. I would like travel up there. It was like 2 hours away, so I would like travel up there a lot, like just and take like solo trips up to the city and stuff. So I have spent a lot of time there, a lot, and I do know like Toronto quite well, I would say. Like I've spent more time there probably than most people who are from the UK who don't already live there. So I have spent a lot of time there, but I've never lived there. However, I definitely would if the right opportunity came up. I wrote in my yearbook, which was 2018 when I left high school, that in 10 years' time I would be, I think I wrote something like doing something with history, um, living in Toronto and still watching hockey. That was, I'd only just got into hockey then. I'd never been there. I didn't visit until 2022. So this was, 4.5 years before I'd even visited the city. And I was just like, yeah, I want to live there. I grew up watching a YouTuber called Kaylin Nicholson, and she's a Canadian YouTuber. I've been watching her since I think like 2015, I want to say, so before I even got into hockey. And she lived in Toronto. She lives out in Ottawa now, but she had like a Toronto apartment, and I wanted that. So would you move to Toronto? 100%. If the right job opportunity came up, 100% I would live there. Like, absolutely. Also, similarly to that, when is your next trip to Canada? When is the next planned trip back to Toronto? So, tentatively, I'm going to say March. I'm trying to plan it right now. So I don't have a solid date yet, but I'm looking at March, and if I can budget enough for it, basically, then it should be in like mid-March. Trying to plan it around the Leafs, obviously. So hopefully March, as long as I can work that into my budget. It's 1 a.m. The intermission is on. I'm not loving the Leafs performance so far at all. Okay, next question. What's one thing you feel needs to be done in order to further grow the game in the UK? I think there's a few areas which need work still. I do think there's a few things, but I feel like the amount of coverage that hockey gets in the UK sort of on the news and in the sports news and stuff is quite limited still. A lot of people don't even know that we have hockey in the UK, never mind that we actually have a professional league. So I think trying to get hockey just out there, just in the mainstream media, alongside all the other sports that we have, the same way that I guess the NFL has really effectively marketed itself as, part of UK sports culture at this point, and everybody has an awareness of NFL, even if they don't watch it necessarily. So everyone is like aware of American football now, I would say. And I would love for hockey to be similar. And we do have some really good hockey to watch here, so it should be in the limelight a lot more. It would also be nice for the streams and stuff to be more accessible. So again, under that bracket of it needs bigger exposure, you can only watch the games right now through individual streaming purchases, and they're quite expensive. They're like 15, 16, 17 pounds per game, which isn't accessible to a lot of people. And I think it really creates a barrier as well for people who maybe want to try watching it but can't justify paying all that money on a game which they potentially might not enjoy. So it'd be great if it was on like a streaming platform, or at least some games were broadcasted on a more mainstream channel, just to try and break down that barrier between the cost of trying it out and people getting to experience it. And it comes from someone who, I went to my first game for free, but the amount that I have spent on that league in the past nearly 10 years, I don't even want to know how much it is. I don't even want to know. And I'm not saying that the answer is to let everyone go to games for free. I'm not saying that's the answer, because revenue wise, that doesn't make any sense. But you just have to make things as accessible as you can for people to get in the door. And then a lot of people, once they're in the door, they don't want to leave, like me. So things like making the streams more accessible, just giving hockey more exposure, I think is the key to growing the game over here, because I think it has a lot of untapped potential. And I would love to see them really, really unlock that. It is now 4-1, and what the actual fuck was that goal? What even was that? This is not fun. I feel like it ties in quite well that someone has asked me, after an 8-7-1 start, will the Leafs still make it to the playoffs? And it's probably not a good time for me to answer that, as they're 4-1 down against Boston 10 seconds into the second period, and they just lost to Boston and Carolina at the weekend. But I do think they will make the playoffs, to be honest. I still think they can. I think there's some games where you can really see the potential that this team has. I think that game against Utah in particular, they just looked like a team that had great chemistry. They looked like they were clicking, finally, after a pretty rough start to the season. But I mean, these past few games have been a bit brutal to watch, obviously. And I think that the potential for this team is there. I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're a team who can be really good, who just aren't doing their best right now. But this is quite stereotypical for the Leafs to not do particularly well at the start of the year, and then they usually pick up and do really well, and then they get to the playoffs and then they choke. So, I mean, I just don't see the formula being that different this year. I think they're going to pick up less points overall, and I think they might. I don't think they're winning the division this year. I did a predictions video and I put Florida winning the division again, and honestly, they might win the cup again, to be honest too. Florida are just insane. But I think it's going to be really close between them and the likes of Tampa and stuff. I still think they're going to make the playoffs. I do think they're going to make the playoffs. Although that's kind of hard to say as I'm watching this game right now, because this sucks. Would you ever do anything on the lower British leagues and teams? If you guys want to see that, 100% I can. So we have a few tiers of leagues here. So I've posted a lot of EIHL stuff, which is the Pro League. But there's also the NIHL, which is the National Ice Hockey League. There's the Scottish National League, the SNL. So, I mean, if you guys want to see anything on them, then I'm happy to do that. I know you love Toronto on the east, but have you ever gone west to Banff? You'd love it. I am desperate to visit Banff. It is one of the top places on my travel destination list to go to. I would absolutely love to go. And I was originally planning a trip over there for like this year, but it just didn't work out. So absolutely desperate to visit Banff. Like, it's always been somewhere I've wanted to go, so 100%. Would you ever come back to London to watch the nights? Obviously, I mentioned in a previous question about spending a lot of time in southern Ontario, London, Ontario specifically, and I love the London nights. I love them. They're so fun to watch. I've been to a couple games. I have a jersey. I love the London nights. I really do. And I mean, I don't have plans to come back to London anytime soon. But I definitely would to watch the nights. 100%, I would come back to London to watch the nights because they're such a fun team to watch. Even though I definitely have a bias about Easton Cowan now because he's just that team in general, just a lot of fun to watch. Just a really, really fun, enjoyable team to watch play hockey. And I have such an appreciation for the OHL. I think it's a great league. So yeah, I'm not coming back to London anytime soon, but I will eventually for the nights. There's a couple nice compliments in here. You guys are really sweet. Okay, final one for the Instagram questions. Thank you for all the awesome content. Would you want to do it full time? Um, like, yes, obviously. Like, of course, I would want to be able to talk about hockey for a living. I would absolutely love that. But I also do love what I do for a day job in marketing, and I work in mainly like events and social media and stuff. So I do absolutely love what I do for a living. Like, it's a fun job generally. It can be very stressful, but generally like it is a very fun job, and I'm very lucky that I enjoy what I do so much. But any opportunities that come up to make hockey content and stuff, I would always grab with two hands because it is a real passion of mine and I enjoy it so much. So I would do it full time if there was the opportunity for it. But I do really also like my marketing career that I'm sort of building at the moment as well. So, but I love talking hockey, in case you can't tell. Yeah, this game absolutely sucks, by the way, just in case you were wondering. Um, I'm glad that we are virtually hanging out tonight because it's something that's bringing me joy. This game is not bringing me joy. The Leafs, they're kind of sucking. Against Boston again, of all teams too. I hate losing to Boston. Post my usual game update, like where I post like game 17 of 82. If you follow me on Twitter, then you know what I mean. Okay, on to the questions in the NGL app. You know, that like anonymous link thing. A crazy amount of questions on this. Like, just insane amount of questions. So we'll not be getting through all these, but are you Austin Matthews' secret you girlfriend, the Thornton reference? That's funny. What do you think is your best feature? I mean, I don't know if you mean physically or like a characteristic of mine. My favorite non-physical thing about myself is that I'm very passionate about things I care about. Like, I'm very ambitious about things, and I really like pour my heart and soul into something that I care about a lot. Hence the fact that I'm awake at 1:22 a.m. watching this team play, even though they suck, is because I care about them so deeply. Or I would say my creativity, because I'm a very creative person, and I really pour that into my work, and it's one of my favorite things about myself. But my favorite physical thing about myself is probably it's a cliche answer, but probably my eyes, because they're blue, and oh, your eyes don't change really, right? Like, it's one of the few parts of you that like is with you like consistently forever. I know that they can change, but I feel like it's the most one of the most consistent physical features that you have. So it's a stereotypical answer, but I would say my eyes. Any parts of Canada you want to see if you haven't? Any sorry, can't speak clearly. Any part any parts of Canada you want to see if you haven't been anywhere besides Toronto? Yeah, so I've only been in Ontario, and I want to go to every single province. ideally in my lifetime want to go to every single Canadian province and every single US state. It's definitely like North America is definitely where my like travel goals are like focused on really. So I would love to go to every province. Already talked about Banff, obviously. But Montreal and Ottawa are definitely places that I would love to visit at least one of them next year. But I want to go everywhere in Canada, to be honest. I want to see as much of it as I possibly can. I think it's a wonderful country. The scale of it in size blows my mind because you can drive for like 4 hours and you're still in the same province, whereas here you drive for 4 hours and you've probably crossed a border into a different country and you've probably gone through about 100 different areas. But I would love to see as much of Canada as I possibly can. Your voice is quite lovely. Thank you very much. I'm glad that people like the Scottish accent. I have always been a little bit self conscious that I don't sound like what someone talking hockey should sound like. And I know that that's silly because anyone can talk about hockey. It doesn't matter what you sound like. I know that. When it comes to yourself, I'm I've always thought that people would be like, oh, she should be talking about football, like soccer. I've just always thought that. So it's nice when people are like, oh, you have a nice voice. So love your YouTube and social media content. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you so much. What's your favourite thing about being a Leafs fan? Look, we need some positivity right now because this game absolutely sucks and the Leafs kind of suck right now. So we need some positivity. My favourite thing about being a Leafs fan is just probably the people I've connected with both online and like going to games and stuff. I do think we've got an amazing fan base overall. I really do. I think we have like a really, really passionate and knowledgeable fan base. And I feel really lucky to just be one small part of that. And I've met some of the most amazing people through the Leafs. So one of my favourite parts would definitely be just being part of that community. Otherwise, it would probably be spend time in Toronto itself because I think it's such an amazing place and I love it there. And I feel very lucky to have spent so much time there already, and I hope to keep spending time there for the rest of my life. So, yeah, outside of the fact that I just absolutely freaking love hockey, aside from that, it would definitely be the community and the city that make it so fun to be a Leafs fan. Weirdest question you've ever gotten on here? I actually have had so many questions asking about whether I would start. Sorry, I don't want to say it because I don't want to get demonetized. You guys are going to get me demonetized. But an OF, like that subscription thing that people start. And the answer is absolutely not. It's never even crossed my mind to do that. It's each to their own, no judgment. It's just definitely not for me. Absolutely not. That's not what I want to be on the internet for. Not my cup of tea at all. I love social media and I love posting and I love content and I love hockey and I love talking about hockey online, and social media is a big part of my actual job as well, obviously. But no, the answer is no. Just no. Your DMs are probably wild, huh? And someone said, should answer those DMs, Lord. Your future hobby is waiting. Yeah, I'm not looking for a husband right now. Definitely not looking for a husband. I had a lot of questions about like we're getting into the personal questions. Normally I just ignore the personal questions, but I'll answer the ones that are within reason. Yeah, there were a lot of questions asking, are you single now? Are you still with that Canadian guy? Which, as I already kind of briefly mentioned, no, we are not together anymore, and we haven't been for months now. Um, and so, yes, I'm very much single. And I'm really enjoying that in this sort of stage of life, I guess. Like, I'm really taking some time for myself and just kind of just doing me, living a very peaceful existence. It's another cliche, but I'm just kind of like trying to just find me again and yeah, just like work out what I want to do in life and yeah, I'm enjoying it. I feel like everything happens for a reason. Apart from making a joke when the when the Jays lost in that game 7, I made a joke about it hurting more than my breakup, which is yeah, like the Jays completely and utterly shattered my heart. But I don't tend to like overshare a lot online. I really like I'm on here to just talk hockey and talk like a little bit about what I'm doing in life, but not too much, not too much. So, um, but there were so many questions about this that I couldn't not answer. It wouldn't be fair. So, yeah, I'm very much single now. Let's watch the end of this period, and then I will answer a few more questions in the third. But wow, this game is not good. At least they've got puck on the net a bit more. Like they've kind of caught up at least with that because they were not driving pucks to the net. So I feel like they've got a little better at that this period, but it hasn't changed the scoreline. So ultimately, that does not matter. Nylander looks so pissed. At least that guy actually cares. 4-2, 4-2. Come on, come back, come back. Just nothing has felt right about this team tonight. Like just everything just feels a little off. Like the stars haven't shown up. Like there's some defensive errors there, and even the goaltending. Well, we've got Hildebane now rather than Stolly. Also, Stollarts isn't even on the bench. Just a disaster of a game. Like Stollarts didn't come back out to the bench. Hildebane's in. Matthews hasn't been on the bench after he took a hit. I don't know if a game gets much worse than this. 4-2 is better than 4-1, I guess. Maths. Will we ever win another game? Somebody's just sent me that in as a question. Do you know what? Who even knows at this point? Watching this game, it's hard to have faith. Second period, done. Another period of pain, done. It's okay, it's not like it's 2 a.m. or anything. Not like I've work tomorrow. Okay, second intermission, one period to go. I really hope Leafs can pick it up from here because this is not the most enjoyable watch. But let's answer a couple more questions before we hopefully watch the Leafs make a comeback. Otherwise, it's just another painful loss to the Bruins. So, do you want to see another guy from Ontario? As I've just said, not looking for a boyfriend right now. But I mean, I would always pick the person rather than the place. Like, I'm always willing to do like long distance if it's for the right person. Um, so I don't know. If I meet the right person, they could be anywhere in the world. Just so many dating questions. Like I'm finding them hard to avoid because there's so many of them. Would you ever let a non-Toronto fan take you out? Yeah, I have. Most of the guys I've dated have not been Leafs fans. I've only dated like two Leafs fans. Um, Randomly gone out with a few Pittsburgh fans for whatever reason. Like, sure, it's nice to be with someone that supports the same team as you because, like, the shared suffering, is nice, but it's not like a prerequisite. Have you ever been in a fight? No. I'm a very non-violent person. Were you so sad when the Blue Jays lost? Oh man, I was so sad. There were tears. There were real tears. I actually also recorded it because I don't know if you follow me on like Instagram and stuff like that. I posted a video of me reacting to the Jays making the World Series, and it kind of blew up. Like it's got like 325,000 views on Instagram or something like that. Like it, I don't like. I don't really take Instagram that seriously. But for some reason, like it blew up. So when the Jays were in that game 7 against the Dodgers, I was like, when it went to extra innings, I started recording it in the hope that I'd have another celebration video. And instead, I captured me just getting my heart absolutely broken. So I'll overlay that video here for your viewing pleasure. Um, Not fun. How are you enjoying the hockey season so far? I mean, I always enjoy hockey season, and I don't love the off season. I mean, baseball makes it a lot better, obviously, so it's not as bad now as when I didn't watch baseball. I mean, I'm always glad to have hockey in my life, but not the most ideal start from the Leafs. They definitely have a lot of wrinkles to iron out, and time's kind of ticking now. I feel like in October, I'm like, you know what, it doesn't really matter how they do. Like, it's an adjustment period, and especially when you've lost like a key piece on your team, I feel like it definitely takes a little longer to get into the swing of things. So that I can forgive. But the fact that we're getting towards mid November and it still seems like they've got similar issues as they did at the start of the season, I'm not loving. Like, we're on game 17 right now, and I would really hope that by the time you hit around game 20, you're like, you're a decent chunk of the way in. When you hit that sort of quarter mark into the season, I feel like you kind of have to have your shit figured out, and they do not have their shit figured out at all. So I'm enjoying the hockey season, but I wish the Leafs would, I don't know, pick up their game a little bit. Make it, do you know what? Just even make it more fun to watch, because some of these games aren't the most enjoyable to watch, in my opinion. Like, even, I mean, watching them lose is never that fun, but some of these games, I'm like, you need to like pick up the pace a bit. Like, you just look a little like lackluster sometimes, which isn't enjoyable to watch as a fan. So yeah, short answer, yes, completely enjoying the hockey season. Long answer, need the Leafs to pick it up a little bit. Also, I've just assumed that you mean like the Leaf season, but truthfully, the hockey season over here for my local team, I don't really have a team here that I feel like super passionately about in terms of fandom. But my hometown team, yeah, they suck. I mean, they don't typically do that well in general, but they're not playing very fun hockey this year, and it's weird. Like, they kind of have like a big team, but they don't throw a lot of hits, and they're not that physical, and it's just, I don't know. It's an odd team, and it's not good. It's not good. What's one piece of sports memorabilia you wish you could have? I would just love something game used from the Leafs, really. Like, one of my things I want to treat myself to one day is definitely like a game used stick, maybe, or like a game worn jersey from the Leafs. Don't really care who it's from, to be honest. Just something like game worn or game used from the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm not really that fussy as to who it comes from, to be honest. Just yeah, something that's game used. I would like a stick, actually. I would really like a stick. Because I have one hockey stick in my room that's from at my local arena. So I would love to have two hockey sticks, and it's like, one from home, one from second home. I mean, I would love an Austin Matthews game used item, whatever that may be, but I wouldn't be that fussed over who it belonged to, really, as long as it was the Leafs. Are you done your Christmas shopping? No, I'm not even close. I have started though, which is better for me than in other years, because in other years I have left it until like 2 weeks before Christmas, which for me is really disorganized. Whereas I have started and I've made like a little dent in my Christmas shopping. So, and I'm going to start wrapping soon. So, trying to be just organized this year so I can enjoy the festive season a bit more. And I also have a really busy like work schedule going into the Christmas period. One of my marketing jobs is for like a heritage site and like a tourist attraction. I will actually put it over here, and it's a bit of a tangent, but if you are ever in Scotland, specifically the east coast of Scotland, and you want to come to Dundee, which is my hometown, I will overlay here. I work for Dundee Heritage Trust, and so we manage two museums, including RRS Discovery, which is the ship right down at the water, and it's one of the most iconic parts of the city. And I'm very proud to work there. That's one of my jobs. I love working there, and I do the marketing for a lot of our events there and busy Christmas party campaigns, etc. So yeah, the Christmas shopping is the least of my concerns. Really enjoy your sports commentary and how supportive you are of your favourite teams. Thank you so much. Ugh. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate any kind comments about my work and my content. It really does mean the world. I've always had a lot of imposter syndrome when it comes to talking about hockey and making videos and stuff, so it does always really, really mean the world to me when people say they enjoy it. So thanks so much. What is your favourite thing about Toronto aside from the sports teams that we have? Huge fan of yours, love the content. Thank you again. Means the world. My favourite thing about Toronto, there is so much. I just love that city a lot. I love it feels like my version of New York. So growing up, I was obsessed with New York. I wanted to live in New York, like that was what I always wanted. And I have been to New York, and while it's an insanely cool place, I love New York and I really want to go back. Toronto feels like what I thought I would feel like in New York, if that makes sense. The second I kind of spent time in Toronto, I was like, this feels like a second home. Like I feel quite at home here, and it's got that like big city feel about it, but it's of I guess more of like a scale that I enjoy. Like it's not as big as New York, it's not as busy as New York. It's like my version of New York. I think it's a very like underrated city overall. And I know it's a really popular place, but I still think it's kind of underrated to be honest. I love the skyscrapers, the big buildings, the hustle and bustle of the city. I love that. I found the people to be very nice generally, especially for a big city. I've always found people to be very pleasant in Toronto. The people that like you just randomly bump into, just like very nice people. It's got a very nice feel to it. I can't even explain it. There's just an energy about that city that I adore and that I really resonate with and I really, really like. It's got a great mix of the skyscrapers, the big buildings, but also some really nice parks as well, which is cool. The neighborhoods are very diverse, and there's just a lot of diversity in the city as a whole, which I also really really like. It's got a nice history to it as well, which history nerds obviously is important. There's so many things I love, but to encompass it all, it's just has an energy about it that is just unmatched. I love it. Love Toronto so much. Okay, it's officially 2 a.m. and my battery is about to die. So I'm just going to charge that up real quick while the third period starts. And yeah, we can talk a little more before I eventually head back to bed, which will probably be it's usually around 2:45. So I sleep from like 10 until midnight, and then I go back to bed at 2:45 and I sleep until like 7:30 when I have to get up. And I'm working from home tomorrow, which I don't usually do on a Wednesday. So not too bad, not too bad. So let's see if the Leafs can have a comeback here. It's now 5-3. There are less than 8 minutes left. Austin's out with a lower body injury. Stollarts is out with an upper body injury. This game is cursed. It's just cursed. Also, I did switch out to wine at one point. So, on a school night. It's officially 2:30 and I'm getting tired. I won't lie. 4-on-4. Fair, honestly. Going back to questions for a second. Someone just asked me, do you believe in Nessie? So, the Loch Ness monster. And yes, I do. Actually, I do like to believe in Nessie. Mainly just because I want to. Like, I just think it's a really cool, like, urban legend type thing to believe in. Even though it kind of scares me a little because I'm very afraid of deep water. So, I don't know. But yes, I do believe in Nessie. I do believe that she lurks in the depths of Loch Ness. And I'd love to see her someday. It's like 20 to 3 in the morning, and I'm sitting watching hockey by myself, drinking wine, and talking about the Loch Ness Monster. If someone asked me what I thought I'd be doing at 25, I don't know if I would have said this necessarily, but you know what? I'm good with it. Also, wine after a daiquiri is an interesting choice. Speaking of the. What's the word? What's the word? I don't even know what the word is. It could be 'cause it's so late, or it could be the wine. I don't know. But I can't think what the word is. Speaking of the not paranormal, because no, that's not the right word. No. Speaking of believing in the unexplainable, someone asked, have you ever had a paranormal experience, i.e., seen a ghost? Which I haven't seen a ghost, but my office building in my other workplace, not the one I was talking about before, it's like a counselling service, and I do their marketing and I help out with their HR as well. And I've worked there for a long time, like a long time. So our office, for some reason, has got something wrong with it. I fully believe in the paranormal. I believe in ghosts. And even though I haven't seen a ghost, I've definitely heard things in there that I can't explain. And there's a few people in the office have experienced similar things. Okay, there's 2 minutes left in this game. Leafs have pulled Hildeby, so probably going to get an empty net goal here for Boston. I feel like it's going to be like 6-3, so that sucks. But anyway, shall we answer the last question of the night? What song do you listen to the most? I listen to a lot of music, and I like most music. Like, I've got quite a varied music taste, I would say. My current music obsession is Sabrina Carpenter and everything Sabrina Carpenter. She just has the most fun music. She released Man's Best Friend right at the right time for me. Like, it was like the perfect, freshly out of a breakup album. And I just know that on Spotify Wrapped this year, she's going to be my top artist, 100%. But specifically, this question said song. So let's go to my on repeat playlist, and the top song. Oh, I just locked my phone. My top song is Go Go Juice by Sabrina Carpenter. So that's my go-to song at the minute. I also love 15 Minutes, Nonsense, Taste. Also the newest Taylor Swift album, obviously, because I'm a big Swiftie. Also, one of my favourite songs of the whole year has been Sally When the Wine Runs Out by Role Model. I love that song. Love it. I'll link my Spotify down below and you can follow me there if you want. Thank God this is the final minute of the game and I can go to bed, because this was a pretty brutal game to watch, I won't lie. 2 losses to Boston in the space of a week should be illegal. 5-3 loss to the Bruins. And with that, it's officially time for bed, and it is 10 to... Is that going to focus? It's 10 to 3 in the morning, so yeah. Let's go to bed. That game kind of sucked. There were still so many more questions I didn't get to, but I feel like we talked about a decent amount, and this video is probably going to be way longer than I intended it to be, so yeah, sorry for all my yapping. Let me know if you did enjoy this style of video, because I've never done something like this before, so let me know if you enjoyed it. Before you go, please make sure to subscribe to my channel if you did enjoy this video. I post basically everything about hockey and the Toronto Maple Leafs, so if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please make sure to subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. Would you like to see more videos like this? Did you enjoy this? Any feedback? Because I've never filmed a video like this before. Yeah, just drop me a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm off to bed now because I'm very tired and it's so late. And also, that game really sucked. Good night.
Let her know, I gotta let her know that she my white horse, she my medical. She like my baby mama, know how to take care of me. Give my baby problems, you gon' regret everything. So I let her know, gotta let her know. Came through the front door, give it to you.